When life shatters you, it doesn't whisper. It breaks you in silence so deep you can barely breathe. You sit there at night staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment, every lie, every broken promise, and the betrayal cuts deeper than any wound. And yet, here you are, alive. Do you understand what that means? It means your heart is far stronger than the pain that tried to destroy it. Betrayal is not the end, it is a revelation. It unmasks people who never deserved your loyalty. It exposes the truth you were too blinded by love to see. And yes, it hurts, but that hurt is proof you gave everything. Pain is the price of courage. You cannot move forward holding chains of yesterday. If someone could betray you, they never had the capacity to walk your journey. Your healing begins the moment you decide that no one, no memory, no scar will own your future. You are not broken. You are reborn. Every tear is sharpening your strength. Every sleepless night is building your fire. So heal your heart, rise from the ashes, and move on like the storm you were meant to be. Betrayal reveals truth, not weakness. Many people think betrayal is a reflection of them, as if they weren't enough, as if their love wasn't worthy, as if they failed to hold on to someone who walked away or stabbed them in the back. That is the first lie pain will whisper to you. But betrayal does not expose your flaws, it exposes theirs. It is not a sign that you were weak, it is evidence that they were never strong enough to match your loyalty. Betrayal is the mirror that removes the mask people wear, the one they use to enter your life pretending they cared, pretending they stood for you, pretending they were loyal. And while it hurts more than almost anything, you must see it for what it truly is, the truth breaking free from the disguise of lies. When someone betrays you, it's easy to collapse under the weight of self-doubt. You start questioning yourself, wondering if you could have done something different, something more, something better. That is where most people remain stuck, trapped in a prison of what ifs. A betrayal was never about you lacked, it was about what they lacked. Integrity, courage, respect, and love, these were not in them. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot expect loyalty from someone who does not even honor themselves. What looks like your breaking point is often your awakening. Think about it. If someone can betray you, it means they were never truly aligned with you. They were never designed to stay in your life forever. They were part of a chapter, not the whole story. And betrayal, as cruel as it feels, betrayal never comes from enemies. That is why it cuts so deep. It's not the stranger who hurts you. It's the person you trusted, the one you let close, the one you believed in. But even in this, there is a hidden blessing. For betrayal teaches you discernment. It sharpens your instincts. It teaches you to see people for who they truly are instead of who you wish they were. It forces you to rise stronger, wiser, more aware. And wisdom born from pain is the kind of strength that can never be taken from you. Do not let betrayal turn you bitter. Do not let it harden you so much that you close off your heart forever. Because if you allow betrayal to convince you that love is weakness, you will kill the most powerful part of yourself, your ability to give and to connect. Instead, use betrayal as proof of your strength. You loved with sincerity, you gave loyalty, you stood firm, and though they broke the bond, you did not break your character. That is not weakness, that is power most. People will never understand. So when you carry betrayal in your heart, stop asking why they hurt you. Stop asking why they chose to deceive you. Ask instead why you needed this truth revealed. Ask why life pulled back the curtain and showed you who they really were. Because the sooner you see betrayal as revelation, the sooner you will stop bleeding for people who do not deserve your blood. Betrayal is a closed door, not because you were unworthy, but because your future is too big for people too small to stay loyal. Let betrayal build you, not break you. Every scar on your heart is a reminder that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Every sleepless night, every tear shed, every day you thought you couldn't go on but did anyway. All of it is proof that you are indestructible. You may feel shattered for a while, but from those broken pieces rises a stronger version of yourself. And when you emerge, you will no longer be the same. You will no longer tolerate half-hearted loyalty, fake love, or empty promises. You will walk with the quiet power of someone who knows their worth and refuses to settle for less. In the end, betrayal will not define you, but it will refine you. It will strip away illusions. It will cut ties with the wrong people, and it will clear the path for new beginnings. And when you finally heal, you will thank life for the pain that once felt unbearable because it freed you. So remember this, betrayal reveals truth, not weakness. It shows you who others are, but more importantly, it shows you who you are. A fighter, a survivor, someone unbroken by lies and unstoppable in truth. Pain is proof of your courage to love deeply. Lee reaches their heart. They avoid pain by avoiding connection. They avoid heartbreak by avoiding love itself. But you chose differently. You chose to risk yourself in the hope of something real, something beautiful, something greater than comfort. That willingness to love is courage in its purest form. The pain you feel after loving deeply is not a punishment. It's a testament. It says, I dared to give my heart. It says, I had the strength to care when I could have chosen to stay cold. One can play it safe. Anyone can build walls, but it takes a different kind of soul to stand in front of another human being and say, here I am with no mask, no armor, nothing but the truth of myself. That kind of vulnerability is the highest form of bravery. So if you hurt now, it is because you lived with your heart wide open. And that is something to be proud of. When love ends or turns into betrayal, the pain feels unbearable because the depth of your love was real. Shallow connect. Ions don't leave scars. They fade like smoke, forgotten as quickly as they came. But when you gave deeply, when you invested not just your time, but your very soul, the loss feels like a wound that won't close. That's the paradox of love. The deeper you care, the greater the risk and the greater the pain. Yet this pain is not wasted. It is proof that you are capable of the most powerful force in existence. There are people who go their entire lives without ever knowing what it means to love with that kind of intensity. They never cry themselves to sleep over someone they gave everything to. They never walk around with an invisible weight pressing on their chest because their heart feels ripped apart. And while at first that may seem like freedom, in truth it is emptiness. For what is life without the risk of love? Without that raw connection that changes you, teaches you, and even when it hurts, proves you are alive? To love is to be human at the highest level and to feel pain from. That love is the cost of experiencing life in full. But here's where your power lies. Pain does not diminish love, it validates it. It shows that your love was not cheap, not fake, not something you threw around carelessly. Your love had weight. Your love had depth. And that is rare. The courage to give your heart, despite the chance of heartbreak, is what separates those who live fully from those who merely exist. You were not afraid to dive into the deep waters, and though you may feel like you drowned, the truth is you swam farther than most would ever dare. Pain also refines you. It teaches you lessons no book, no teacher, no advice could ever give. It shows you the resilience of your spirit, the unbreakable nature of your soul. When you hurt, you learn how strong you are. You discover that though love may have cut you deeply, it did not end you. You still wake up, you still breathe, you still move forward, even with a heart that feels shattered. That kind of endurance is nothing short of extraordinary. And one day you will look back at this pain and realize it made you more compassionate, more aware, more alive. Understand this, pain is temporary, but the courage to love deeply will stay with you forever. The scars will fade, the tears will dry, and the memories will stop burning, but the proof of your bravery will remain. You are not defined by the heartbreak, but by the fact that you had the strength to love when you could have chosen not to. And when you heal, that same courage will allow you to love again, stronger and wiser than before. Do not let pain convince you to stop loving. Do not let the hurt convince you that love is a weakness. Love is never weakness. Love is the highest form of strength because it asks for everything. It demands vulnerability, sacrifice, trust, and surrender. To choose that path is the ultimate act of courage. So the pain you feel right now is not proof of your failure. It is proof of your greatness. You are capable of something. Most people fear you are capable of love that reaches to the depths of the human soul. So the next time your heart aches and your spirit feels crushed, remind yourself that this pain is evidence of your courage. It means you dared to live, you dared to risk, you dared to give everything without holding back. That is not weakness. That is the kind of strength that makes life worth living. You loved, you hurt, and yet you endure. And there is nothing more courageous than that. Healing starts when you refuse to be chained to the past, The hardest battles you will ever fight are not with other people, but with the memories you carry, the regrets that haunt you, and the pain you keep replaying like an endless movie in your mind. The past has a way of clinging to us, whispering lies that we cannot escape it, convincing us that what happened yesterday will always define tomorrow. But the truth is, healing is a choice. It begins the very moment you decide to stop dragging old chains into your future. Too many people live as prisoners of what once was. They let betrayal, heartbreak, loss, and mistakes dictate who they are today. They hold on to anger as if it protects them, when in reality it only poisons them. They cling to what could have been, forgetting that what's gone cannot be resurrected. Healing requires courage. The courage to look at your scars and say, yes, this happened. Yes, it hurt, but it will not own me anymore. The past is not a prison unless you choose to keep its door locked. The key is always in your hand, and freedom begins when you use it. You cannot move forward if you are constantly staring backward. Imagine trying to walk a new road while dragging heavy chains tied to everything that ever hurt you. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every failure becomes another weight holding you down. No wonder so many feel stuck, as if life will never change. But here's the truth. Your life doesn't change because your heart refuses to let go. The moment you cut those chains, the moment you stop feeding the past with your energy, you create space for new beginnings. Healing starts when you realize you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become despite it. The past is real, but it is not alive unless you breathe life into it. Every time you replay the pain, you relive it. Every time you hold on to the betrayal, you give power back to those who hurt you. Do you understand that? The people who broke you should not get to live rent-free in your mind. They should not get to chain you to a story that ended long ago. The moment you stop giving them that power is the moment healing begins. Refusing to be chained to the past is an act of rebellion, a declaration that your future matters more than your scars. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is not pretending it never happened. Healing is saying, this happened, but it no longer controls me. When you heal, you learn from the past without being enslaved by it. You take the lessons, the wisdom, the strength, and you leave the pain behind. Healing is turning wounds into wisdom, scars into reminders of survival, and brokenness into resilience. But you cannot reach that place as long as you clutch the chains of what's already gone. The mind loves to revisit pain because it feels familiar. Even suffering can feel safe when it's all you've known, but healing requires discomfort, the discomfort of stepping into the unknown, of embracing the possibility that life ahead could be better, brighter, freer. To let go of the past means to accept uncertainty about the future. And yet that is the only way to truly live. The chains of yesterday keep you tied to who you used to be, but healing asks you to risk becoming who you were always meant to be. Every day you wake up, you are faced with a choice: stay in the prison of old pain or walk toward freedom. It may not be easy. Healing is not a straight path. It is a messy process of falling, rising, grieving, and rebuilding. But the moment you decide that your past does not deserve to dictate your destiny, you take back your power. That decision, that refusal to be chained, is the spark that ignites transformation. Think about this. If you keep staring at a closed door, you will never see the one that has opened. If you keep clutching broken pieces, your hands will never be free to receive what's whole. Healing demands release. You cannot carry yesterday and tomorrow at the same time. One has to go, and it should always be yesterday. Not because it didn't matter, not because it didn't shape you, but because it cannot define the life you still have left to live. So when the weight of the past pulls at you, remind yourself, healing starts with a choice. You are not bound by chains unless you accept them. You are not trapped unless you refuse to move. The past is a story already written, but the future is blank, waiting for you to write it. Let go of what has ended so you can step bold. Lie into what has yet to begin. And in that moment of refusal, in that moment when you break the chains and walk free, true healing begins. Your scars are the fuel for your strength and growth. Every scar tells a story, not of defeat, but of survival. They are not marks of weakness. They are proof that you endured storms that could have destroyed you, but didn't. Too often people hide their scars, ashamed of the wounds they once carried, trying to cover the parts of themselves that remind them of pain. But scars are not there to shame you. They are there to remind you that you overcame battles many would not have survived. They are medals of resilience written on your soul and your body, proof that you faced darkness and still chose to rise again. Think about it. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire, and your scars are that fire's aftermath. Every disappointment, betrayal, heartbreak, and failure left a mark. At the time, it may have felt like life was ending, like you could never recover. Yet here you are. The scar is not the wound. The scar is the healing. It is a symbol that you didn't stay broken. You may have bled, you may have cried, you may have fallen, but eventually you stood back up. And each time you rise, you grow stronger, wiser, sharper. That strength doesn't come despite your scars. It comes because of them. Scars fuel growth because they remind you of what you endured and how far you've come. When life tests you again, and it will, those scars whisper back to you, so you've survived worse. They give you perspective. They remind you that pain doesn't last forever, that even when you thought you couldn't go on, you did. They are evidence that you are not fragile but unbreakable. And when you carry that knowledge, you face the future differently. You are no longer intimidated by struggle because you know the scars you already carry prepared you for battles ahead. Instead of hiding your scars, embrace them. They make you unique. I set you apart from the ones who never dared to risk, never dared to love, never dared to dream. People without scars have never truly lived. They've simply existed, too afraid to step into the fire that forges greatness. But you walked through it. You got burned, you got hurt, but you kept moving. And now your scars are your story of courage. They are not signs of brokenness. They are signs of becoming. Scars also give you compassion. When you've suffered, when you've been broken, you gain the ability to see pain in others. You understand struggle at a level that no theory or book could ever teach. That empathy becomes another form of strength because it connects you deeply to the human experience. It allows you to lift others when they are in the same darkness you once faced. Your scars become not only your fuel, but also a light for others still trapped in their wounds. They will look at you and realize healing is possible because your scars prove it. Growth fueled by scar. S is also about transformation. You do not heal into the same person you were before. Pain changes you. Struggle refines you. You don't walk away from battles untouched. You walk away stronger, sharper, more resilient. That transformation is the gift hidden within suffering. The very things you once prayed to avoid become the lessons that shape your destiny. Your scars are the roadmap of how you became who you are today. Without them, you would not have the depth, the wisdom, or the power you now carry. Never forget that scars are permanent, but so is the strength that comes from them. You don't erase them, and you don't need to. They remind you that you are still standing. Some people try to erase every trace of their struggles, but the truth is, beauty is not in perfection. It is in survival. There is a certain kind of beauty in scars because they show authenticity. They show you didn't live a fake protected life. You lived boldly, you fought battles, you risked love, you chased dreams, and though you got hurt, you refused to give up. That is real beauty. So when you feel ashamed of the marks the past left on you, change your perspective. Stop seeing them as reminders of pain and start seeing them as fuel. They are the fire inside you, the reason you are stronger today than you were yesterday. They are the evidence that you can keep going when life gets unbearable. And most importantly, they are the fuel that pushes you to grow beyond limits, to rise higher, and to never settle for less than what you deserve. Your scars are not your chains. They are your wings. They don't hold you down. They push you forward. Every scar is a step. Every scar is a lesson. Every scar is fuel. You did not just survive. You transformed. You are stronger, wiser, braver because of what you went through. Let your scars remind you of your resilience. Let them be your motivation to keep fighting, and let them fuel the greatness you are still becoming. For scars are not the end of your story. They are the reason you have the strength to write the next chapter. Moving on is not loss. It is rebirth into unstoppable power. The moment you decide to let go of what is gone, what has broken you, what has betrayed you, you are not losing. You are stepping into a new version of yourself that is sharper, stronger, and far more dangerous than before. So many people confuse moving on with weakness, as if letting go means you surrendered, as if walking away means you gave up. But in truth, moving on is not about defeat. It is about reclaiming your strength. It is the act of standing tall and saying, what ended cannot define me. What broke me cannot control me. I choose myself. I choose my future. I choose freedom. Loss is staying stuck in a place where you no longer belong. Loss is letting pain own you, replaying the betrayal, reliving the heartbreak, handing your power to people who already left. That is loss. But moving on? Moving on is courage. It is the boldness T. Oh, close, a chapter with blood still dripping from your heart and say, even in pain, I rise. Even in emptiness, I move. That is not weakness. That is transformation. That is rebirth. When you move on, you are reborn because you are no longer chained to what has ended. You start to see that the heartbreak, the betrayal, the disappointment were not punishments, but preparation. They stripped you of illusions. They forced you to face reality, and they made you discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Moving on means you've taken hour begins, because the moment you stop looking backward, you free all your energy to move forward. And when that energy is no longer wasted on yesterday, it becomes the fuel that launches you into tomorrow. The end. It is the beginning of something far greater. You shed the old skin, you release the weight, and you step into your true form. And once you are reborn in this way, you become unstoppable because nothing in the past can chain you anymore. The people who betrayed you, the ones who left, the ones who hurt you, they expected you to stay down. They expected you to live in pieces, chained to the memory of what they did. But when you move on, you shatter their expectations. You rise from the ashes stronger than they could ever imagine. That is the ultimate revenge. Not hatred, not bitterness, but transformation. Your rebirth becomes your weapon. Your unstoppable power becomes your answer to every scar they left behind. Moving on also allows you to step into a future that is wide open with possibility. As long as you hold on to the past, your hands are too full to grasp what's ahead. But when you release it, when you finally let go, you create space for new opportunities, new beginnings. What feels like the end is really the gateway to something greater. You don't lose when you move on. You gain everything that's been waiting for you beyond the pain. Never believe the lie that moving on means forgetting. It doesn't. You will remember. You will carry the lessons, the scars, the wisdom, but you won't carry the chains. You won't carry the weight. You won't carry the need for what no longer serves you. And that is how you transform pain into power. So when life breaks you, when love betrays you, when dreams collapse, don't stay down. Don't mistake letting go for weakness. Moving on is not loss. Moving on is rebirth. It is you rising out of the ashes of who you once were and stepping into the unstoppable force you were always meant to become. Every tear, every scar, every heartbreak has been shaping you for this moment. And when you finally move on, you don't just survive, you ascend. You become untouchable, unshakable, unstoppable.